If your heating bill keeps climbing every winter, you're not imagining it. Rent is still crushing budgets, groceries cost more than ever, and millions of Americans are spending thousands of dollars every month just to stay warm and keep up with everyday expenses. But what if this winter, instead of scraping ice off your windshield, you were walking along the Mediterranean in a light jacket under blue skies? Better yet, what if your total monthly living costs were less than what many Americans pay in rent alone? It sounds impossible, but it's happening right now. Today I'm taking you to 2 warm coastal cities in Europe where you can realistically live for under $900 a month. We'll break down the exact costs for rent, utilities, groceries, dining out, average winter temperatures, and the visa options that make extended stays surprisingly easy for Americans. And trust me, you'll want to stick around for the second destination because it offers one of the most generous entry policies in Europe for US citizens. Let's start in Catania on the east coast of Sicily. Here's the number that caught my attention. A fully furnished one-bedroom apartment here can cost as little as $400 to $450 a month. That's less than many Americans spend on a car payment. And once you arrive, the price feels even harder to believe. Catania doesn't look like a budget destination. Historic piazzas carved from volcanic stone, palm-lined streets, lively cafes, and views of Mount Etna create the atmosphere of a city that should cost far more. Yet compared to places like Rome, Milan, or almost any major coastal city in the United States, the savings are remarkable. The weather is another reason Americans are discovering Sicily. While much of the US spends winter dealing with freezing temperatures, snow, and expensive heating bills, Catania typically enjoys daytime temperatures between 60 and 68 degrees Fahrenheit, or about 16 to 20 degrees Celsius. That means many afternoons are comfortable enough for a walk along the seafront or an outdoor lunch without needing heavy winter clothing. Now let's break down the monthly budget. Rent for a furnished one-bedroom apartment in local neighbourhoods like Borgo Sanzio or Ognina typically runs between $400 and $450 per month. Utilities, including electricity, water, gas and high-speed fibre internet, average around $80, helped by the city's mild climate and relatively low heating needs. Grocery shopping is surprisingly affordable thanks to Sicily's famous open-air markets, where fresh seafood, locally grown vegetables, cheeses, olives and seasonal fruit are available at prices that are difficult to match back home. A comfortable monthly grocery budget comes to around $150. Dining out is where Catania really shines. You can grab a freshly made arancini for about $2, enjoy an authentic Italian espresso for around $1, or sit down for a traditional pasta dinner with local wine for roughly $12. Budgeting around $120 a month for restaurants lets you enjoy local cafes and trattorias several times each week without stretching your finances. Public transportation is reliable and inexpensive, adding roughly $25 a month. Altogether, living comfortably in Catania comes to approximately $835 per month. But affordable living is only part of the story. For Americans, visiting Sicily is straightforward. Under the Schengen rules, US passport holders can stay visa-free for up to 90 days within a 180-day period, making Catania an ideal winter escape. Those looking to stay longer can explore Italy's digital nomad visa or elective residency options depending on their circumstances. Many expats continue earning US salaries remotely while benefiting from Sicily's significantly lower cost of living, allowing them to save far more each month than they could back home. And if you think these numbers are impressive, wait until you see the next destination. It offers beachfront apartments for even less money, and the entry rules for Americans are even more generous. If Catania surprised you, wait until you see Vlorë, Albania. This might be the best value beach city anywhere on the Mediterranean, and somehow most Americans have never even heard of it. Here's the headline number: a modern one-bedroom apartment, often just a short walk from the beach, typically rents for $350 to $400 a month. That's less than the average monthly parking bill in some US cities. But the low prices aren't what shock people the most, it's what you get for them. Walk along Vlorë's famous Lungomare promenade and you'll find rows of palm trees, stylish cafes, waterfront restaurants, luxury yachts, and crystal-clear blue water stretching across the Adriatic and Ionian seas. It feels more like an expensive resort town than one of Europe's most affordable coastal cities. The biggest difference? Here, locals enjoy this lifestyle year-round without paying luxury prices. Winter is another major advantage. While much of America is dealing with freezing temperatures and rising heating costs, Vlorë typically enjoys daytime highs between 60 and 68 degrees Fahrenheit, or around 16 to 20 degrees Celsius. Many winter afternoons are sunny enough to enjoy coffee by the sea, take a long walk along the waterfront, or simply relax outdoors without bundling up in heavy winter clothing. Now let's break down the monthly budget. A furnished one-bedroom apartment near the waterfront generally costs between $350 and $400 per month. Utilities including electricity, water and high-speed internet average around $60, thanks in part to the mild climate. Grocery shopping is another pleasant surprise. Local farmers supply fresh fruits, vegetables, cheeses, olive oil and seafood at prices that make eating well remarkably affordable. A comfortable grocery budget comes to about $120 per month. Dining out feels like a luxury without the luxury price tag. A seaside espresso often costs less than $1, while a fresh seafood dinner at a waterfront restaurant can be enjoyed for around $15. Setting aside approximately $150 per month for restaurants allows you to eat out several times a week while staying comfortably within budget. Transportation around the city is inexpensive, and budgeting around $40 per month covers local travel and basic health-related expenses. When you add everything together, your total monthly cost of living in Vlorë comes to roughly $770 per month. But here's what really sets Albania apart for Americans. Unlike countries inside the Schengen area, Albania has its own entry rules. US citizens can stay in Albania for up to 1 year without needing a visa, making it one of the most generous long-stay policies in Europe for American travelers. That gives remote workers, freelancers, retirees, and anyone considering a move abroad plenty of time to experience everyday life without constantly worrying about visa deadlines or complicated paperwork. Many Americans use Vlorë as a low-cost base while earning income remotely, allowing them to enjoy a Mediterranean lifestyle while dramatically reducing their monthly expenses. For retirees, it offers the chance to stretch retirement savings much further. For digital nomads, it provides a beautiful coastal setting with living costs that are difficult to match anywhere else in Europe. Of course, no destination is perfect. Living here during the off-season means the atmosphere is much quieter than in the busy summer months. Some seasonal businesses operate shorter hours, and evenings can cool down into the upper 40s Fahrenheit, so you'll want a jacket after sunset. While English is increasingly common in tourist areas, learning a few basic Albanian phrases goes a long way and is always appreciated by locals. But for many people, those aren't disadvantages. They're part of the appeal. You get peaceful beaches instead of crowded shorelines, relaxed cafes instead of long lines, and a slower pace of life, all while spending a fraction of what a similar lifestyle would cost back home in the United States.